Your soulmate received a secret message, now they can't stop thinking about you. My beloved child, listen closely because this message is about a moment that may have quietly changed the way your soulmate sees you. Sometimes one unexpected message can awaken emotions that a person has tried to hide for a very long time. Sometimes a few simple words can bring an entire memory back to life. My beloved child, your soulmate may have recently received a secret message, a private conversation, or unexpected information that caused them to think about you again with a depth they were not prepared for. They may have looked at their phone, read the message more than once, and then suddenly found your face appearing in their thoughts. They may not understand why the connection between that message and you feels so strong, but their heart may be making associations that their mind cannot easily explain. Perhaps someone mentioned you. Perhaps someone asked about you. Perhaps something from your shared past resurfaced. Perhaps a person connected to your history delivered information that your soulmate was not expecting. Or perhaps the message was not directly about you at all, yet it reminded them of a promise, a conversation, a place, a song, a date, or a moment that belonged to both of you. My beloved child, sometimes the smallest reminder can reopen a door that someone thought they had permanently closed. Your soulmate may have believed that enough time had passed for the emotions to disappear. They may have tried to convince themselves that they were completely over the situation. They may have filled their days with responsibilities, distractions, work, social activities, or other relationships. But a hidden emotion does not always disappear simply because someone refuses to talk about it. Sometimes it waits quietly beneath the surface until something touches it again. That secret message may have been that touch. My beloved child, imagine your soulmate reading those words and suddenly becoming quiet. They may have stopped what they were doing. Their attention may have shifted away from everything around them. They may have started remembering you. They may have wondered what you are doing now. They may have wondered whether you still think about them. They may have wondered whether you have moved on. They may have asked themselves whether they missed an opportunity that can never return. And perhaps for the first time in a long time, they allowed themselves to admit that your absence still affects them. My beloved child, this does not mean you should assume every message is proof of destiny or that you must immediately wait for a reunion. It means that emotions can be complicated, and people sometimes understand their feelings only after something forces them to slow down. Your soulmate may be entering such a period of reflection. They may be realizing that what they felt for you was deeper than they wanted to admit. They may be comparing their current life with memories of what they had with you. They may be remembering the comfort of your presence. They may be remembering how you listened. They may be remembering how you noticed details other people ignored. They may be remembering the way you cared even when you were disappointed. My beloved child, perhaps they are remembering the moments when you tried to communicate and they did not fully listen. Perhaps they are remembering arguments that once seemed like the end of everything. Perhaps they now understand that some disagreements were not signs that the connection was wrong but signs that both people needed better communication. Perhaps they are recognizing that they reacted from fear. Perhaps they are recognizing that they avoided difficult conversations. Perhaps they are recognizing that they expected you to understand things they never explained. This kind of reflection can be uncomfortable, but it can also create growth. My beloved child, if your soulmate is thinking about you more intensely now, it may be because their mind is finally processing what their heart had been avoiding. They may be asking themselves questions such as, why do I still remember this person? Why does their name still affect me? Why do I feel different when someone talks about them? Why do I still wonder what would have happened if I had made different choices? These questions can become powerful when someone has spent a long time avoiding them. The secret message may have simply opened the door. Now their own thoughts are doing the rest. My beloved child, there may be moments when they reach for their phone without even realizing why. They may look through old conversations. They may scroll through photographs. They may search for a memory. They may wonder whether your contact information is still saved. They may consider sending a message and then stop themselves. They may type something and delete it. They may tell themselves that contacting you would be a bad idea, only to think about you again later. This internal back and forth can happen when someone cares but is afraid of the consequences of admitting it. My beloved child, fear can make people behave in confusing ways. A person can miss you and still remain silent. A person can love you and still be afraid of vulnerability. A person can regret something and still struggle to apologize. A person can want to return and still worry that the door has closed. So do not measure someone's emotions only by their silence. But also do not build your future around assumptions. Wait for clear action. Let their choices reveal what their feelings actually mean. My beloved child, you do not need to become anxious about whether your soulmate is thinking about you every moment. Your peace is more important than knowing. If they are thinking about you, that is their inner journey. If they want to speak, they can choose courage. If they want to return, they can demonstrate intention. Your responsibility is to remain grounded in your own life. Do not stop living because someone may be remembering you. Do not put your dreams on hold because a message may have changed someone's thoughts. Continue growing. Continue becoming stronger. Continue building the life you deserve. My beloved child, sometimes the strongest attraction happens when people stop trying to control each other. When you release the need to chase, you create room for the other person to confront their own feelings. Your soulmate may now be experiencing the reality of your absence without the comfort of knowing that you are always available. That absence can make memories louder. It can make ordinary moments feel different. It can make someone recognize how much emotional space you occupied in their life. My beloved child, perhaps they once assumed you would always be there. Perhaps they believed that if they changed their mind later, you would still be waiting. But time changes people. You have grown. Your standards may have changed. Your heart may have learned lessons. You may no longer be willing to accept the same behavior. Your soulmate may sense this, even without speaking to you. They may wonder whether they still have a place in your life. That uncertainty can make them think even more deeply about what they lost. My beloved child, the secret message may have brought your memory back, but your own transformation can determine what happens next. You are no longer required to chase someone who is unsure. You are no longer required to explain your worth. You are no longer required to prove that your love was genuine. If your soulmate wants to know whether you still care, they can approach you respectfully and ask. If they want another chance, they can communicate. If they regret their past behavior, they can acknowledge it. You do not need to do all the emotional work. My beloved child, there is power in allowing someone to take responsibility for their own feelings. If they miss you, let them recognize that. If they regret losing you, let them understand why. If they want to reconnect, let them take the first steps. You can remain open without chasing. You can be compassionate without abandoning your boundaries. You can forgive without immediately restoring trust. These are signs of emotional maturity. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is discovering that not every connection can be replaced. They may have met other people. They may have tried different relationships. They may have tried to move on completely. Yet something about your connection may still feel different to them. Perhaps you understood a part of them they rarely showed anyone else. Perhaps you gave them emotional safety. Perhaps you challenged them to grow. Perhaps you saw through their defenses. Perhaps you loved them during a period when they did not even know how to love themselves. These memories can become powerful after distance. My beloved child, sometimes people appreciate a person only when they experience the contrast between that person's presence and absence. When you were present, your kindness may have seemed ordinary to them. After you were gone, they may have realized how rare it was. Your patience may have seemed normal. Your loyalty may have seemed guaranteed. Your encouragement may have seemed like something they could always receive. But once those things disappear, the person begins to understand their value. The secret message may have triggered that realization. My beloved child, maybe the message came from someone who knows your soulmate well. Maybe that person asked a question that made them uncomfortable. Maybe they mentioned your name casually. Maybe they shared an update about your life. Maybe they said something that caused your soulmate to realize that you are moving forward. That can be a powerful moment. When someone believes you are waiting, they may delay. When they realize you are living your own life, they may suddenly recognize that time is not unlimited. Miss you, ask what they want. If they say they regret the past, listen to whether they take responsibility. If they want to meet, decide whether meeting is healthy for you. You are allowed to take your time. You are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to say yes slowly. Your heart is not a public place where anyone can enter whenever they feel lonely. My beloved child, if this person genuinely wants to reconnect, the connection must be rebuilt on a stronger foundation. The old patterns cannot simply return. If there was poor communication before, there must be better communication now. If there was inconsistency, there must be consistency. If there was avoidance, there must be accountability. If there was confusion, there must be clarity. Love alone does not erase unhealthy patterns. Growth does. My beloved child, perhaps the secret message is causing your soulmate to recognize exactly this. They may be realizing that the relationship did not fail because there was no love. Perhaps it struggled because neither person knew how to handle the love properly. Maybe both people were afraid. Maybe circumstances were difficult. Maybe timing was wrong. Maybe pride became stronger than communication. Maybe assumptions replaced honest conversations. Whatever the reason, understanding the cause is important if a new chapter is ever going to be healthy. My beloved child, your soulmate may now be seeing the past with different eyes. Something they once blamed you for may now look different. Something they once considered insignificant may now seem important. Something they once ignored may now feel like a warning they should have listened to. This is what reflection does. Time changes perspective. Distance creates contrast. Silence creates space for thoughts. And sometimes an unexpected message becomes the trigger that connects all those thoughts together. My beloved child, perhaps they are remembering a specific sentence you once said. Perhaps you told them that you only wanted honesty. Perhaps you told them that you were willing to work through difficulties but could not carry the relationship alone. Perhaps you told them that your love needed reciprocity. Maybe they did not understand at the time. Now they may understand. They may realize that you were not asking for perfection. You were asking for partnership. You were asking them to show up. My beloved child, this realization can be humbling. It can make a person look at their past behavior with regret. They may wish they could go back and handle certain moments differently. They may wish they had called instead of disappearing. They may wish they had listened instead of becoming defensive. They may wish they had expressed their feelings instead of hiding behind pride. But the past cannot be rewritten. It can only be understood. What matters now is whether understanding becomes change. My beloved child, if your soulmate truly has changed, you will not need to force evidence. Their behavior will naturally become different. They may communicate more openly. They may become more patient. They may stop playing emotional games. They may become clearer about what they want. They may stop disappearing when conversations become uncomfortable. They may start making practical efforts. These are the signs that matter. My beloved child, never allow a beautiful message to make you forget a painful pattern. Someone can say exactly what your heart wants to hear and still repeat the same behavior later. That is why you should remain calm. Let time test the words. Let consistency prove the intention. You do not have to decide everything in one conversation. Healthy relationships can survive a slow pace. If something is genuine, it will not collapse simply because you take time to think. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is currently afraid that you will reject them. Maybe they think you are angry. Maybe they believe you have moved on. Maybe they worry that their chance has disappeared. If they have truly learned from the past, they will understand that they cannot demand access to you. They will approach respectfully. They will accept your feelings. They will be willing to hear your truth even if it is difficult. That is maturity. My beloved child, you deserve someone who can handle your honesty. You should not have to make yourself smaller to keep someone comfortable. You should not have to hide your pain so they will stay. You should not have to pretend everything is fine. If the connection is strong enough for a new beginning, it must also be strong enough for honest conversations. My beloved child, perhaps the secret message has started a chain of thoughts inside your soulmate that will eventually lead to a conversation with you. Perhaps they are beginning to see that staying silent does not make the feelings disappear. Perhaps they are realizing that they cannot keep asking themselves, "What if," forever. They may want an answer. They may want closure. They may want another chance. They may simply want to know how you are. Whatever their motivation, let them speak for themselves. Do not speak for them. Do not assume. Do not build an entire future around an imagined message. Wait for reality. My beloved child, if the day comes when they finally contact you, remember the strength you gained during the silence. You survived without their messages. You survived without their attention. You survived without knowing what they were thinking. That means you can listen to them without becoming dependent on their response. You can love them without losing yourself. You can hear their feelings without surrendering your boundaries. My beloved child, perhaps this is the greatest change in your story. You are no longer asking, how can I make them choose me? You are beginning to ask, is this person capable of giving me the kind of love I deserve? That is a completely different question. It shifts the power back into your hands. You are no longer waiting to be evaluated. You are evaluating whether the relationship is healthy for you. My beloved child, if your soulmate returns, let them show you who they are now. Do not judge them only by who they were, but do not forget who they were either. Look for growth. Look for responsibility. Look for consistency. Look for emotional maturity. Look for a willingness to build something real. If you see those things, you can consider opening the door slowly. If you do not, you can protect your peace without guilt. My beloved child, perhaps you have spent a long time hoping for a secret message from them. Maybe you imagined what it would feel like to see their name on your phone. Maybe you wondered whether they would ever say the things you needed to hear. But now remember something important: the message you deserve is not simply, I miss you. The message you deserve is supported by actions that say, I am willing to do better. That is the kind of message that creates a future. My beloved child, if the secret message has caused your soulmate to think about you again, let that thinking become honest reflection. Let them confront their own behavior. Let them understand what happened. Let them recognize what they lost. Let them decide what they truly want. And let them approach only when they are ready to communicate honestly. You do not need to rush them. You do not need to send hints. You do not need to create a reason for contact. Let their courage be their own. My beloved child, perhaps the strongest thing you can do right now is remain silent about what you cannot know. You cannot know every thought in another person's mind. You cannot know every emotion they feel. You cannot know exactly what that secret message meant. But you can know yourself. You can know what you need. You can know what you will accept. You can know that you deserve peace. And that knowledge is enough. My beloved child, your soulmate may be thinking about you because they finally understand that your connection mattered. But you should also remember that your life matters beyond this connection. You are a complete person with dreams, responsibilities, talents, and a future. Do not let romantic uncertainty consume all your energy. Use this time to become stronger. Use it to build yourself. Use it to create a life that feels beautiful even when your phone is silent. That is where true confidence begins. My beloved child, perhaps one day your soulmate will ask you whether you still have feelings. If that day comes, answer honestly. You do not need to pretend you stopped caring if you did not. But you also do not need to promise anything. You can say, I still care, but I need to understand what has changed. That is a powerful answer. It respects both your heart and your wisdom. My beloved child, perhaps they will apologize for things they did. Let them finish. Do not interrupt simply because hearing the truth feels emotional. Listen. Then decide. An apology is a beginning, not the entire repair. If they are sincere, they will understand that rebuilding trust takes time. They will not pressure you to forget. They will not demand immediate forgiveness. They will allow their actions to speak. My beloved child, perhaps they will say that the secret message made them realize they cannot ignore you anymore. That may be meaningful, but still watch what happens afterward. Emotional intensity can create beautiful words in the moment. Real commitment survives after the intensity fades. Look at what they do on ordinary days. Look at whether they remain consistent when there is no dramatic emotion. That is where genuine intention becomes visible. My beloved child, perhaps they will say they are afraid. Let them be honest. Fear is not always a sign of weakness. Sometimes it means the person understands the importance of the moment. But fear should not become an excuse for repeating old patterns. A mature person can be afraid and still communicate. They can. Chooses you, let that choice come from clarity rather than competition. A healthy relationship is not built on defeating a third person. It is built on two people choosing each other freely. My beloved child, perhaps the secret message made your soulmate realize that you are not waiting in the same place anymore. That realization can create urgency. But do not allow their urgency to become your pressure. You can move at your own pace. You can say, I need time. You can say, let's talk slowly. You can say, I want to understand. Your peace matters. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate has been silently watching your life from a distance. Maybe they have noticed changes in you. Maybe they see that you are becoming more confident. Maybe they sense that you are less emotionally dependent on their attention. This can create a strange combination of admiration and fear. They may admire the person you have become while fearing that they no longer have access to that person. But again, they must respond through healthy action. My beloved child, your growth should never be used as a weapon. Let your growth be your gift to yourself. Let your peace be real. Let your confidence be real. Let your happiness be real. If someone returns because they see you becoming happy, ask whether they are ready to support your happiness or whether they simply want to regain access to you. There is a difference. My beloved child, perhaps the secret message has opened your soulmate's eyes to that difference as well. Maybe they are realizing that love is not ownership. Love is not control. Love is not possession. Love is choosing to support another person's growth while growing yourself. If they understand that, perhaps the connection can mature. My beloved child, imagine for a moment that they finally contact you. The conversation begins awkwardly. They may say something simple. They may ask how you are. You may feel your heart race. You may remember everything at once. But take a breath. You do not need to relive the entire past in one moment. Start with the present. Ask what brought them back. Ask what they want. Listen. Then decide. You have time. My beloved child, sometimes a calm conversation can reveal more than months of guessing. Instead of wondering whether they care, you can hear their words. Instead of interpreting silence, you can observe their behavior. Instead of imagining their intentions, you can ask. This is why communication matters. The secret message may have started the process, but honest conversation can reveal where it leads. My beloved child, perhaps your soulmate is not ready yet. That is okay. Do not force them. People must choose growth themselves. If they are still confused, allow them to figure it out. Your life should continue. If they become ready later, they can approach. You do not have to remain frozen. My beloved child, there is something beautiful about realizing that you can love someone and still release control. You can say, I care about you, but I trust you to make your own choices. That is freedom. You are not responsible for rescuing someone from their confusion. You are responsible for protecting your own heart.